I think I'm live. Hi everyone. Let me see. I am live. Fantastic. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know if the broadcast has started. I'm just going to create the links to share on different platforms. Because it says I am live, but I am not sure if you can hear me. But welcome to day 2 of the 30 days deep dive into why people get stuck. The name of the series is called Stuck to Finish, and that's basically just created after the solution we're bringing to this, what we'll call a pandemic. What we'll call a pandemic. So let me know if you can hear me and we will get started. So today we're talking about something simple and we are talking about, oh, fantastic. Thank you. I was busy sharing links up and down. Sorry for starting late, first of all. I was doing some last minute changes because I realized that yesterday we introduced what we're going to do, but who is the kind of person that this is suited for? So we've talked about what it means to get stuck to finish. And most of the times when we create products and services, we kind of niche them and say specific demographics of who we're creating this for. But today I'm going to be niching based on individuals' needs, niching based on a couple of things. So the aim is to help people finish what they've started. I will just do a recap. So this is day 2 of the stock to finish solution frame that I'm bringing to the market. And the aim is to help people finish what they've started. We've observed in the past that most people are great starters, but they're bad finishers. And some people be like, I'm not a bad finisher. I always finish what I start. I don't think I qualify. So today I'm just going to be telling you who qualifies to listen to this. If this sounds like you, or if it sounds like your friend or your friend's friend or any of your relatives, then do them a favor and share this with them so that they can join the series and ask their questions live. But the aim is this: I want you to achieve it. I want to guide you to finish what you've started. I want a situation where you are not just talking about what you want to do, you're actually taking action and taking action consistently. I was going to share a few slides today, but yesterday was hectic, so I won't do that. But what does it mean to be stuck? So when we say someone is stuck, what does that mean? How do you know if you're stuck? Who is the kind of person that I am talking about? So yesterday we defined stuck as someone that starts but doesn't make progress. They find themselves consistently doing things halfway. You find that it's not, and today I'm adding something else to that. I'm not looking at people that are stuck as someone that's just has been great at this, then all of a sudden they just have this one project that they just started working on last month and they find themselves stuck. Although this will be beneficial to them, those are not the people that we're really trying to focus on here. What we're trying to focus on, or who we're trying to focus on rather, is people that are chronic stoppers, chronic at getting stuck. Now, in the medical world, we have acute and chronic illnesses. Acute illnesses are just, well, maybe you've had a migraine the other day. It's not something that has lasted up to 6 months. It's not something that is long term. It's something that is short term. Let me know if the audio is better, Oyindamola, please. It's something that is short term. It's something that is not that you say it's serious, but it's not yet a major issue. It's acute. But when we say it's chronic, it's something that is long term, has been in existence for a while. So if you're someone that has found yourself stopping projects for over 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, we're going to create a quiz that would help you determine where you are on the spectrum, because I think there are some people that are at the beginning of the spectrum and some people are at the other end of the spectrum. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I just connected my mic, so I wanted to see if it was better. And that's what we're going to try and do today. But first of all, I'd like you to meet someone, and I'm going to call him John. My middle name is Jonah. So let's go with that. Um, John is an individual that loves working on projects. When he gets anything, he is excited. And if it sounds like you, let me know. Meet John, a passionate and ambitious individual with a burning desire to achieve great things. Over the past few years, John has always started on projects, but found himself getting caught in a circle of starting multiple projects and being unable to make consistent projects on progress on any. This pattern has let him feel stuck. With each new endeavor, it begins with a surge of enthusiasm, determination. John is that person that anytime he wants to do anything, he is excited. He's the most excited person in the room. He's like, oh, I can do it. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Then all of a sudden, when he starts working, he just ends up not being able to make progress. And it's not as if he doesn't have good intentions. He has good intentions. He is motivated. He wants to do this project. He feels that this is what he needs to do. However, it just something just happens, that he just sees himself unable to do it. Now, this is the avatar we're going to be working with. We're going to be working with this, and I'll give various definitions of these avatars that we're working with. Why am I working with avatars, and why am I making us do this? Because when we come to branding as a branding coach, I always say start, you have to create something for someone specifically. It's what I call audience clarity. Now we're creating this product, so I want this to be able to serve specific people, not just every single person, because there are some people that, despite their best efforts, they just see unforeseen hindrances in their ability to push forward. The project you pour your heart into, nothing comes of it. And you become disheartened. There's a lack of tangible results. This recurring circle of starting strong and hitting a milestone all the time kind of affects you. And I don't know if that's describes you. But what else would describe this kind of person that we are talking about? Like I said, for day two, we are focusing on who it is that this service, this solution, this resource, because I'm not going to tell you what the resource is yet. I want you to guess. It could be a book, it could be a course, it could be something, but it's something fantastic, Sha. But they are people that experience chronic challenges in making consistent progress on any project. So they find themselves in a circle of starting various endeavors with great enthusiasm. That's what we said, only to have obstacles. Then what else? They are great at initiating. So they are what I will call my advocates. They are great at initiating, but struggle at maintaining sustained progress over time. Some people could say it's due to lack of motivation, difficulty overcoming obstacles, a pattern of losing focus and momentum. But for everyone, it's different. And they're frustrated. It's like they want to see the end results of something. They want to see these promising projects that they are working on completed, but they can't find out a way to get that done. And they are trapped in a circle of unfinished projects and unfulfilled dreams. So they have unfulfilled dreams, unfinished projects. They are just struggling basically. So when we meet them, they're in the current position. And when we are through with them after the sessions that we have together, there will be another situation. So the problem is that they are chronic starters, get stuck and do not finish. So they start. It's not like they don't start. That's the problem. And the problem is also much deeper, because it's not just about starting, but it's about the fact that it has occurred almost throughout their lives. So, in order to fix this problem, we have to do a deep dive. So, before we continue with who we're talking to, let's remember what we said a deep dive is. We said, I know my screen is small, so I'm going to go into present mode and I will read out. So, we said, a deep dive involves a focused and comprehensive examination of one past experiences, behavior, beliefs, or challenges. It goes beyond the surface level analysis and aims to uncover the underlying causes, patterns, and influences that have contributed to a specific situation or problem. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're going deeper to find out what exactly is the problem that this person is facing, who are we speaking to directly, and how can we help this person overcome the problem. So we're speaking to, or rather this specific solution is for people that are chronic starters, that are struggling to achieve it. It is defined by you. So rather than going through the old way of saying a 25-year-old that has this, yes, we will get to that part because we're looking at the income that they earn and everything. But we're looking at the fact that it's for people that are willing to invest in themselves. It's for people that see a problem and want to fix a problem. And the problem is they get excited about projects. They start, but they never finish. They never cross the finish line. It's like the story of the tortoise and the hare that I always use as an illustration, where they both started at the same point, but one person goes off track because of one reason or the other. That's what we are faced with in this same situation. You're great starters, but bad finishers. So let's continue. Why do these people need help? Why do they need assistance? Why do they need people to guide them to the finish line? Because sometimes you can't do everything on your own. There may be other features or other characteristics that this person has. Number one, they could be accomplished in some areas of their life, but in certain areas of their life, they feel that they have unfulfilled dreams. Dreams that they've tried to accomplish on their own, but have been unable to accomplish. Things that they've started and they are unable to complete. So, what we're doing with them is simply this. When we start with them, this is where they are, the person I just defined completely. What happens when we finish working with them, when they go from start to finish, when they walk through the program that we are creating? When they walk through the program that they are creating, they'll first of all be able to define what's wrong. They'll be able to do a deep dive and find out, why exactly am I acting the way I act? And this is not just about looking at the surface and saying it's because you procrastinate. It's much deeper than that. We've tried that in the past where it's just like stop procrastinating, eliminate distractions, have a routine. On the surface, that may appear like it works, but it doesn't really work. It doesn't give the results that they need because they find themselves back at square one where they are stuck. So, in order to provide a solution, we must do a deep dive in order to help them overcome this challenge, overcome this problem, take them to the finish line. I say enough, take them to the finish line. We need to be specific about what we're doing. So that's why I said I'm taking people from start to finish. So basically what I'm doing today is I'm talking about what we are going to do for people to help them finish what they've started. So the solution frame is simply this. It's supposed to help people that are stuck complete projects. Now we define people that are stuck as people that have a consistent chronic habit of starting and not completing. So it's not somebody that just started a project yesterday and did not complete it. No. These people, we are niching them basically by looking at, why have they started these projects? Who are they? How many projects in the past have they abandoned? So we're going to have a spectrum for you to find out where you are. It's going to be like a quiz that will help you determine, where are you on the start to finish spectrum, on the start to finish spectrum. So if you're a starter that finishes, fantastic, there will be something else for you. But if you're someone that chronically starts and just find yourself unable to complete it, then this is what we have created for you. This is what I have created for you, because I'm using experiences from different resources, and I have looked beyond procrastination, looked beyond having a routine. We've said all this in the past, and they've been proven records that have shown that it's about getting the right things done, not just getting things done. So David Allen's resources were being put into consideration, and a couple of other resources. I think I've also looked at Diego Fort, who is another master in productivity, and it talks about the fact that most people get stuck because they are always starting from the beginning any day they do anything. So they don't have in place a second brain. And I found his work quite fascinating because he talks about how being chronically ill helped him become more productive. And that's funny. The same thing that happened to me is being chronically ill that made me actually be intentional about how I reflect on time, how I respect time. So we're not just going to be talking about time management. We're going to be looking at respecting time, understanding the resource that time is, and seeing how you can respect this resource and use it as a resource that is reliable, that gives what you give back to it. Then most people are great at beginning, but we're still going to look at how to begin. And we have the simple solution frame that will say, okay, well, after we found done the deep dive, then we're like, okay, maybe you made a false start. Is there a proper way to begin? We'll look at that. But today's topic or today's conversation is basically on who is this for? Who are the people that get stuck? What are the characteristics that they have? What are the things that make them different from others? Why do we need to help them get across the finish line? Do people really need to tell you what to do? Is motivation enough? Why isn't motivation enough? These are a few questions that we'll be answering in the next couple of days. Like I said, the first week or the first few days is just to introduce the concept, introduce the problem, introduce who the problem is for, and what the overall solution is going to be before we now break it down and build back up. So today is day 2, and we are just talking about who it is for. We're not niching by age. We're not niching by geographical location. We're niching by the unique problems that these people face, which is being unable to complete what they've started. So we've realized that it's not about a lack of motivation. These people are heavily motivated. It's not about a lack of resources. Sometimes they have the resources, but it could be other things. And according to this gentleman here, Matt Perman, people get stuck for 3 reasons. Or they said there are 3 traps to be careful of when it comes to being stuck. The first trap is thinking you are stuck when you're not. So we have some people that fall into these categories and they think they're stuck when they actually are not. And these people, sometimes we think we are stuck simply because things are hard. So that's why I said it's not just about the past 6 months or 3 months. It's something that is more long term. So we have to go through the spectrum to find out if you're there. It's not a temporary hard slog. It's not a temporary difficult situation that you're going through. Oh, there was fuel scarcity, so I couldn't get to work. That does, and so I am stuck on a project. I was unable to complete this project. That's not what we are dealing with. We're dealing with a lot more deeper problems. So we are not looking at the fastest route to get to the solution. In this case, you'll be equipped to actually, there's a way you could be bailed out of that difficult thing. But there's a second trap people fall into, thinking you are not stuck when you are. And I think this is a difficult one because there are some people that don't even realize they are stuck. They don't see the pattern that they have. They don't see the issues that they face consistently. It's like they have gone blind when it comes to their own life, but they can see clearly when it comes to other people being stuck. These are the second category of people or the trap that people fall into. So they are either, and it is what I'll say, everything can be going your way, going smoothly and going quickly. Everything feels and seems wonderful. Yet you have seen you are still headed towards a dead end, a form of getting stuck. And that is the truth. So you may find that everything may be going well on the surface, but deep down inside, if everybody pulls the veil, you are actually stuck. And sometimes you don't know it because you are not being consistent about observing what you do. So you could be sailing in the wrong direction. So you could be making progress on in the wrong direction. This is another trap people fall into, and we want you to help you avoid this trap. And it's essential that we do. And one of the stages we're going to walk through, one of the steps of stage 1, will help you determine whether you're stuck or not. Then there are people that are stuck without knowing it at all. And this is, although yes, mental health is beyond the scope of what we want to do, but it's actually important to identify it. And I think it's something that we should pay attention to. So it can be tough because you may not know that you have it. It can be tough because you do not realize that you're actually having a mental health struggle. If you're feeling stuck and have a sense of hopelessness, that is completely different. Because if there's a sense of hopelessness, if there's a sense of deep sadness, then we need to consider other ways that you may be in another trap. And there are resources and there are ways to help you out of that trap before you start on your journey. Everything is figure outable according to Marie Forleo. I think I love that statement. And the core point or the core thing we need to realize is this: getting unstuck is possible. Starting projects and finishing is possible. Getting stuck is possible, and it's about you know making progress. If you've made progress before in the past on many projects and it's not a pattern, so we in criminal minds they always say what's his mo, what's his mode of operating. If being stuck or not making progress is your mo, then it has to be fixed. If it's something that happens once in a while, then you fix that issue at that point in time. But if it's something that is long term, where do you stay stand on the progress on the spectrum? Are you a great starter and a great finisher? Do you stay on track or do you derail from the track? Because being stuck is might not be in a physical position. You may be moving forward. So we'll be looking at all these things and much more. And I just want to look at another definition of being stuck. Because some people see that being unstuck looks like some people see being stuck as like your life is not making progress. Like I said, you may be making progress, but you realize that you have unfulfilled dreams. But what being unstuck looks like in our productivity. David Allen says something. Remember, I mentioned David Allen. It says you can train yourself almost like an athlete to be faster, more responsive, more proactive, and more focused in knowledge work. And most of the people I talk to are knowledge workers. You can think more effectively, and manage the results with more ease and control. You can minimize the loose ends across the whole spectrum of your work life and personal life and get a lot more done with less effort. And that's what it means to be unstuck. So we looked at what it means to be stuck. Now, what does it mean to be unstuck? To be unstuck gives you the ability to see. I always say it gives you clarity. It's like it gives you clarity to see road. If not, you will miss road. So in order for you to see where you're going, you need to get unstuck. In order for you to thrive in every area of your life, you need to get unstuck. And sometimes you may be stuck in your professional relationship, family, or one other area of your life. It's not like you're going to be stuck in every area of your life. Stephen Covey says this. He said, highly effective people carry their agendas with them. Their schedule is their servant, not their master. Because some people believe that being unstuck is about being productive, is about being productive is about hustling 24/7. And I don't buy to that notion. I don't buy to the notion that you have to be busy all the time in order to know that you are not stuck. I believe that it's about facing what's important, and sometimes it might be just starting to define what that means to you. So what does it mean to you to make progress? What does progress seem like to you? Where do you feel that you have unfulfilled dreams that you want to accomplish? Those are a couple of things that we will look at. So it's not just about giving you a schedule. Like I have said, buying a planner, using a schedule, all these things don't work. There is a problem, and we will do the deep dive to find out what that problem is. Peter Senge says people with a high level of personal mastery, what I call self leadership or personal leadership, is about having personal mastery. People with a high sense of personal mastery are able to consistently realize the results that matters most deeply to them. In effect, they approach their life as an artist will approach a work of art. Remember, I said what matters to you deeply. If it matters to you, why do you find yourself unable to complete it? If it's important to you, why do you find yourself stuck in a rut? Why do you find yourself unable to make progress? There are certain things that are important to us, but we're not making progress. Is there a reason and is there a way out? Is that how man has been created, that we are just not going to make progress in certain areas of our lives, even if we want to? So, we are looking at the end of the day when you have worked with me and gone through this. Remember, we said point A is where people are not sure of what they want or why they're not making progress, they're stuck. So when we meet these people, when we meet John, remember we gave him a name. We may change the name tomorrow, but for today it's John. The problem John has is that he is a chronic starter and a bad finisher. That's the main problem. He is excited about projects, remember? He gets excited, he's passionate, he's ambitious, he's driven. He has the burning desire to achieve these things, but finds out that consistently he just doesn't achieve them. he finds himself not making progress. So although the enthusiasm and the determination is there, he is not meticulous enough with his plans. He may have set clear goals at the beginning and is eager to see his vision come to life. However, there's a familiar pattern that emerges. And what is this familiar pattern? And how do we do a deep dive so we can take this stumbling block out of the path? Because if we go from start to finish, we're looking at it like a track. It may not be a straight road, but you stay on the track because you know where you are going. You know the finish line is there. But we take this stumbling block out of the path and help them make progress. So what hinders is ability. And by the time we walk with John, or John goes through the progress of what we're suggesting, he will no longer be trapped in a circle of unfinished projects and unfulfilled dreams. That's what we are dealing with. Unfinished projects, unfulfilled dreams, and he will transform his approach with the necessary tools and resources he needs to make things happen. So what we're trying to do with John is help him reclaim his potential, conquer the projects and challenges that he has, and rewrite his story as a true achiever. And that's the aim of what we're doing. So, point A is someone that is excited about projects, wonderful at starting, but always finds out that they're not making progress. And when we walk with them, when we cross them to this finish line, they are able to complete projects consistently. As we mentioned earlier, it's not just about starting once, but it's about starting, staying on track, and finishing, staying the course of it, and making progress consistently. We talked about the fact earlier that sometimes some people are on the wrong track completely. That's why, although they are making progress, they have unfulfilled dreams. These are the things that we'll be looking at when it comes to the deep dive. The deep dive is not just going to look at surface level and say, oh, what you need is another planner. What you need is a resource. What you need is a second brain. The tools alone are not all what you need. Tools are only good in the hands of someone that knows how to use them and bring out the best in them. So, yes, we'll provide the tools and resources needed, but we will prepare the minds for these tools. We'll prepare the individual for these tools so they're able to cross the finish line and make progress. It's about making progress consistently. It's about helping you understand and articulate the specific challenges that you are facing. It's about encouraging self reflection, especially in the first stage. It's about encouraging self reflection so we can go to the underlying problem. And that's what this all solution from start to finish is about. Achieve what you can achieve, achieve it. You define what it is, you define how you're going to get there, but you then get stuck. So, what do you need to do? Go back to the drawing board and redefine them. Yes, support will be provided. There are other things that will be provided, but most importantly, is to do the deep dive first, and which is what we are doing currently. All right, let me see if there's any other thing I wanted to touch on today before we go on. So, what are we doing tomorrow? We've done the avatar today. Tomorrow, we're going to look a little bit at the deep dive. What exactly are we doing with this deep dive? How are we going to do the deep dive? Why is the deep dive the first stage? Do we need the deep dive? That's what we're going to be looking at tomorrow when we meet. And so the primary problem has been stated. I don't want to just say entrepreneurs. I don't want to just say, I know someone asked me, why are you not niching it by age? Why are you not niching it by this? I'm not niching it by age this time around. I may change my mind before the 30 days are over, but I'm niching it based on the pain. I'm niching it based on the issue that has existed for a long time because it's a long-term progress report we are looking at. It's something that is long-term that we're dealing with, not something that is short-term. We're not looking at people that have just started and then they hit a roadblock and think that, oh, I'm stuck. You may not have made progress on one project, but if you've made progress on other projects and this is not a pattern, then there's something else that we have created for you, and it may not be the stock to finish on, because there are other productivity tools, there are other productivity resources, there are other things that could be used to help people make progress and make it consistently. For me, it's about understanding that everyone is different, but everybody's struggle has to be solved based on the problem that they are facing, not based on a problem that everyone is facing. So that's why I have decided to do it this way. I decided to not just do the audio platform route and share my screen instead, so that I could use visual aids sometimes, not all the time. But I will set up the one for day 3. I mentioned yesterday that I'm not sure if we're going to stick to the 9 a.m. daily because it's for 30 days. The reason I'm not sure about that is I have a session with my team daily at 9 a.m., but we are not having one today. We didn't have one yesterday, but we have a session daily, and we are going to resume with that on Monday. So I will decide with them whether I meet them at 10 or I do this at 9 and meet them at 10, which may just be what we will do. But all in, I don't think I'm going to do up to 45 minutes today. Let me see if there's anything I missed. Okay, yes. Okay. I just said if you find yourself caught in a circle of starting various endeavors with great enthusiasm, only to repeatedly encounter obstacles that impede you forward, this is for you. So we're looking at who is this for. So for day 3, we're going to look at the deep dive a little bit more. And I may have a few things with the deep dive that we will be looking at. So I would either do two things. Number one, come in and fill all this with you so you can see how I actually use a tool like Canva to create slides and how easy it can be, and share my notes with you on my progress on how what my thinking is behind doing the deep dive in this way. Why did I just call it a deep dive? Because it's not surface level. It's something that has to be done. It's not just about talking about time management. It's about looking back and then looking forward at the way we can move forward. The only way we can tackle this problem of being stuck or being chronic starters and bad finishers is if we understand what is going on. So that's it for me today. Thank you very much for joining me, Zainab and Oyindamola. Hopefully tomorrow we come back and we do the same thing. But tomorrow will be 9 a.m. because it's Saturday. So tomorrow, Sunday, I will still do 9 a.m. and then we will make a little bit more progress. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining. Cheers. Bye.